Hi, how's this week been for you? Training's gone really well for me this week, and I'm going to top it off today. It's Saturday today. I'm going to top it off with the prologue stage from the Giro. Now, the cycling podcast obviously normally cover the Giro, the Tour de France and the Vuelta, but obviously they're not taking place so far this year. So they've decided to put on a series of events over the period of the Giro, starting off with the prologue stage that would have happened in Hungary today. They got it running on RGT Cycling, which is a platform that I've kind of half used but kind of gave up on because I wasn't so sure about using the two laptop and iPhone combination. I couldn't be bothered with it, and at the time I was kind of just flat out training. So I'm going to do the prologue stage today. They're going to release it today and see how I get on. I'll be pretty happy if I come in the top half or something today. It's been a pretty mental week of training. I can't remember exactly how many hours I've done, but 5 or 6 hours on the turbo, which is quite a bit actually, and about 4 hours of running so far. I've still got a long run to go. So my legs aren't feeling in great shape, and I'm getting all the excuses in now, aren't I, by the sounds of things. But I'm going to do a little trial run in a minute. I'm going to go and have a quick cup of coffee and get into my cycling kit, and then when they release the route, I'm going to do a bit of a route recce, because one of the things that I have noticed is that using my turbo in erg mode on the tax training, which is great for training, it's not so great for racing, and I miss racing a great deal. But also, obviously checking your gears and keeping the right cadence and everything for a course where there's undulation in it is one of the skills that we need to develop. And I find that when you're turbo training, if you stick it in erg mode, something that I spoke to Chris Newman about a little while back, you do kind of lose that ability to kind of do that. So I'm going to do the prologue stage as a recce in a minute, and we'll see how we get on. I'll come back after I've done the recce. Well, this is a bit annoying and a little bit strange. It keeps telling me that when I start the ride I've actually finished it, which clearly I haven't, unless I'm amazing, which, it's pretty safe to say I'm not. But I had problems connecting the turbo to the laptop this morning, so maybe, perhaps it's that. So we'll try it again. Close it all down. See if this makes a difference. Finish, yeah, says it there at the bottom each time. Issues.
So I finally managed to get onto the RGT platform. At first I didn't even realise I was racing, and ended up spending the first 30 or 40 seconds riding at about 150 watts until I realised I was racing, and enjoyed kind of riding it, having a bit of a recce, putting in a little bit of an effort, and even managed to throw my chain on the final climb coming up to the summit just before the finishing line.
Oh no!
But I thoroughly enjoyed the race experience. I thought the whole way it worked. There was even drafting going on, which I think is not ideal, obviously, on the TT stage. But I don't think, if memory serves, that's something you get on Zwift. You get this drafting effect, which happened as a couple of riders kind of went past me, or vice versa. And ultimately, I thought it was a really fantastic ride, which it was a shame, really, it had taken me an hour and a half to get it to work for what turned out to be about an 18-minute ride.
Bloody hell.
So I came back to it on Sunday feeling pretty strong compared to the day before, where my legs would feel pretty wooden. I did a proper race start to it, so I had my caffeine, which I don't normally do. I don't normally have caffeine, and it really has a big impact on me because I don't normally have it. And I did a really, really good solid warm-up using RGT. And then when I felt kind of warmed up and ready to go, I fired up the Giro stage from yesterday, and this is what happened.
I just f***ing ride it. I don't understand. I just want to ride the course that I uploaded. It's not that difficult to understand, surely. Right, let's try the actual stage again. See if they've got their together yet. That doesn't bode well.
So one of the cool things about RGT is that you can upload GPX files, and it designs something called a Magic Road, which is a road simulation with hills and corners in there, so you can do all your race stuff. So I thought, well, actually I've got a GPX file from yesterday's Giro course, so I'll try and upload that, and unfortunately that didn't work either. And then, as with the previous day, bang, all of a sudden it worked. I was racing, I was ready to go. I actually felt pretty good by this stage, even though it had taken me over an hour and a half to try and get it to work, but I was still kind of in a race mood, and I managed to hold about 290 watts, I think, for most of the course. And then just about 300 metres from the line, when I was just starting to wind it up and get that tunnel vision in my eyes, this happened.
So I finally managed to get on. To the TT stage today, and all was going really, really well. I was averaging about 291 watts. Whereas yesterday I was doing 244, so 291 watts for the whole thing. At the end of the final climb, it just finished me. Just like cut the thing set up across the finish line. I think I still had about 300 metres to go, and yeah, I'm absolutely gutted, if I'm honest with you. I know what they're doing is free. It's not even working now. Look, the app's telling me I'm warming down at 241 watts, 141 watts, and it's not at all. It's not showing on the thing at all. But yeah, I know it's free, and I know there's going to be teething problems. I totally get that. I totally get it. But in all honesty, if the idea of this is to get people to part with their money monthly, they've got to get this stability issue sorted out, because it's a really good user interface. I love it. I love the feel of it. I love it when it works. It's great. Yesterday when I did the TT, it was just fantastic. I really enjoyed it. But so far I've managed to get it to work for about 18 minutes out of 2 days of trying and about 4 hours of faffing around. And you know, when you're in a bit of a hurry to try and get stuff done around your working week, it's not going to be good enough. I really hope they sort it out. I did contact John, by the way, from RGT about the issues yesterday, and this is what he said.
Hi, this morning's issue was simply down to having an incredibly short time frame with a fixed start date to put this together. Magic Roads was never intended to work like this, so there were a number of technical issues that had to be resolved very quickly. In the end, it was a very simple issue to fix, which once we were aware of it was rectified within 30 minutes. We are very active in monitoring for issues and actioning them as soon as we can, but it's true to say that the vast number of new users has stretched our capacity, but we're learning fast and extending where required, plus pushing forward with exciting new features and partnerships. Busy times.
And I think that's completely reasonable. But obviously, there's a lot more users using this than there usually are, and they're trying to get around the teething problems, and I totally get that. But the last couple of days have been extraordinarily frustrating to try and get it to go. I might try it again during the week if I can summon up the willpower to do so. What a shame.
Before I forget, I just wanted to say a quick shout out to Matt Legrand, who sent me a couple of stickers, really cool not fluorescent, kind of reflectivey
mad stickers like I used to collect when I was a skateboarder back in the day. Sent me a really lovely handwritten note to congratulate me on my 100th week. Thanks, Matt. Matt runs a fantastic triathlon channel. If you're not following it already, have a look here. I'll put his handle here. Just wanted to say a really big thanks to Matt for sending me that letter, because it meant a lot, handwritten and everything. Really appreciate that, mate. And whilst on the subject of YouTubers, I'd also really appreciate it if you did like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, don't bother giving me a thumbs down. I can't be bothered with any of that stuff. If you didn't like it, don't subscribe. But if you did enjoy what I've done so far and you want to kind of carry on following the journey and watching a very average triathlete just try and get back to being a little bit less than average, then do hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell so that every week on a Monday when I upload these videos, you'll be told that I've done so. So to wrap it up then, I really like the RGT platform. I like how it works. I love the idea of the Magic Roads thing. It's just the stability thing that's an issue. I tried Zwift out for a year or so and just didn't really get on with it. Didn't really enjoy the experience of being on Zwift in any way, really. And I really do have a real love for RGT. But as I said earlier, just this stability issue when you're kind of short on time and everything is a bit of a problem. So I think the fairest thing for me to do really would be to kind of try it out. Again, in a few weeks, I think there's another time trial set up for the Giro thing that I will give a go and see if they got their stability issues worked out. I'd hope so, because I did enjoy the experience. As talking about my kind of week, really, I've done about 6 hours on the bike this week and 4 hours of running and about half an hour or 40 minutes or so of S&C this week. So nice solid week. I set myself those rules last week in terms of eating and drinking, which I've stuck to, although I did kind of spread my night of drinking over 2 nights, really, if you want to look at it that way. I am finding that a bit difficult, because it's just kind of it's so difficult not without doing anything out in the evenings, not kind of just opening and drinking half a bottle of wine or something. But with the increase in training and the reduction in the general rubbish, sticking to the 16-8, which I find really super easy. So only eating 2 meals a day, no snacks, and just having occasional treats as and when, but ticking them off, has resulted in me losing, I think, between 3 and 4.5 kilos this week. It's really hard for me to tell. Last time I weighed myself, I was holding our dog and I was dressed, and I think I was 105 kilos. And yesterday when I weighed myself, I was around about 100 kilos. So a decent bit of weight loss that I think I will hopefully carry on with. Before I wrap the video up, I just wanted to talk about my bike a little bit that I use on my turbo trainer. It's a 2014 B16 felt bike, which I fell in love with felt bikes back when David Miller was riding for Garmin, and they were riding, I think, the DA back in the day, and I absolutely loved the look of that bike. And I earned some money back in 2013, 2014, writing a series of articles for a drum magazine, and I used the money from that to buy what really was only my second brand new bike off the shelf. I've only ever had 2 brand new bikes. One when I was, I think, 14, a bike from Halford's, a racing bike, and my Felt B16. All of my other bikes have been made up of bits and pieces, second hand, and I just thought, being that I did that video last week on my Cube, I thought I'd give my B16 a little bit of love just to lead this video out. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys in week 103, and hopefully a bit more weight loss, a bit more fitness, maybe a bit more increase in terms of volume, but I think 10.5 hours this week is enough for now. See you on the next one. Have a good week.